Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to another fantastic webinar. It's Wednesday, a weekly space to provide and build job opportunities, employer partnerships, introductions to career pathways, while sharing the latest resources and, of course, available support for your next steps. Every Wednesday, you can catch us here with new partners joining us today. Like today, we have Rodney. And so every Wednesday you can meet and learn about new pathways so that you can either apply them to yourself or you can pay it forward and share it with your network. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm very excited that I have Rodney Hatch today here with me. He is a SkillBridge and Veteran Outreach Specialist with Builders FirstSource. Builders FirstSource plays an important role in building and construction industry across the U.S. They support professional builders with materials, components, services to help you build very amazing residential and commercial projects, and they all come to life in your local community. So this conversation is very extra valuable because you get a chance to learn how you can make a difference in your local community, but also for transitioning service members, for veterans already or military spouses, you can explore hands-on experience on roles like operations, maybe logistics, sales, leaderships, management. I mean, you name it. The possibilities are endless. So we're very excited to bring Rodney into the conversation. Rodney, are you ready to get started?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, take that as a yes. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Let's begin. So, hello. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so blessed, so honored to have Rodney Hatch with us today. He's right here to tell us all about the workforce and innovative pathway that has to do with building. Commercial buildings in general, any great logistics pathways. And so we're going to talk to you a little bit more about that. But first, tell us where you're watching. What kind of career opportunities are you looking for? Let us know where you're tuning in and any opportunities that you are looking for. We would love to be able to connect you directly with Ronnie, as well as to meet us in the neighborhood so that we can take care of you and respond to additional follow up with your resources. So, Ronnie, how are you doing? I know your video is coming in and out, so I hope that we stay active. But tell us a little bit more about yourself. If you can hear me, if the video stays strong, uh, start by introducing yourself and sharing a little bit about your background and how you made it to Builders First.
Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Rodney Hatch. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. For in August will be 11 years that I've been with Builders FirstSource. I actually started out when I left the Marine Corps. I did 10 years in law enforcement, and after that, I'll be very honest, life hit a kind of a rough patch. I left law enforcement, and I was looking for a new career, um, and I was looking for a new opportunity. And I was actually FirstSource in August of 2015. I found them and started at the very bottom, and have been working away at a career for the past 10 years. I've worked numerous positions in many different aspects of the company, just learning the industry. it's an amazing opportunity with an amazing company to just jump in and learn. Being that the military teaches us to be adaptable, trainable, teachable. All these aspects that the military teaches us is kind of how my career has been, and kind of how Builders FirstSource kind of pushes us to learn more in the industry.
Awesome. So law enforcement to construction and building, very, very different. However, very mission driven, both of them, of course. So I'm glad that you found your a good fit for you for this transition as well of your season life. What would you say you enjoy the most about this industry?
I'd say it mimics the military and the camaraderie. Um, the market where I live now, so I live now in the Birmingham, Alabama area, and working in that market with going to work with those people, um, having the tight knit, you go to work with those people, you are consistently seeing those people. You want a place where you can kind of mesh with the people you work with, because obviously that's where we spend a huge part of our lives outside of the people we love and we care about. When you leave home every day and you have to go, put in work and you're working to create a career, you want to make sure it's with people that you don't mind being with. And so my market was just people that I love being with. We held bonds together and kind of grew close together. So I think working with great people.
Awesome, thank you. And you, I mean, you're so correct. More than 8 hours a day occasionally, and then I imagine in this industry, you could work potentially longer hours. You get to spend it with so many incredible people around you, so you got to make sure that it's a very like-minded and very good culture, right? So that you can continue to really develop those great skills that you need as we all navigate this complicated space of career pathways and reconnecting and making a good livable sort of a wage, but also at the same time being able to have and enjoy a great time. So now, if you can share with us a little bit more, you express how you got here to Builders FirstSource, very entry level. And so, could you tell us a little bit more about what career pathways currently exist in building materials, construction? Just give us a general overview that we may not be super familiar with. When we think construction, we always think just the building something out there, concrete, a few wood sticks, or I don't know what I have about construction. So educate me, Ronnie. Tell us what pathways are there in existence that we should be more to take advantage a little bit more.
Definitely. And I get that a lot. So in my position now, I travel around to a lot of the career events at a lot of the military installations across the country. And that's probably my number one question is, have you ever heard of Builders FirstSource? And that's one of the things that I get back is, never heard of it. What do you do? And so there's a lot more behind the name Builders FirstSource. So on the operations field side, entry level labor, forklift driving. We have our own fleet of vehicles, so CDL driving, non-CDL driving, dispatch, fleet safety, there's safety sales, inventory, operations management, project management, installation. Um, Depending on your market, there's installation, kind of project management, kind of just varies by market. I will kind of throw that caveat out there. It just kind of depends on the market. And then on the corporate side, anything from human resources, IT, legal, finance, just a plethora of positions there as well. We have roughly about 550, 580 locations in 43 different states. So we've got a good wide spread across the country, but pretty good. We have about 85, 90 of the top metropolitan statistical markets across the country we do business in.
Wow, 43 different states. That's almost all the logistically almost where all the military lifestyle could potentially reach us, right? So, and that's
Yes.
probably, that's why they have an incredible partner like you going out there doing outreach and supporting members at the local community so that you can bring more spotlight to what Builders FirstSource has to offer. This is great. Now, with you being part of the military, so how did your military skills like the logistics, leadership, all those great operations training translated to jobs in Builders FirstSource?
Well, and that's what in my current role now is the SkillBridge Specialist. That's kind of where I focus is um, adaptable, trainable, teachable. Um, the industry isn't hard to learn. We're looking for candidates. We're looking for applicants that are just willing to learn. We're looking for people that are willing to put those forward. So on the service member side, I tell service members to think outside the box. Uh, just a person that's on my mind. I'll take a service member, and I won't mention the name, but a service member that was in aviation. Uh, Took them from aviation, and they became a fleet regional uh, safety supervisor for us.
Okay.
You think of aviation and all of the safety aspects, the safety checks. So you kind of have to think outside the box for service members and kind of think wider and larger scale. Don't think just pigeonhole. I'm just going to do a career in aviation. Think outside the box of, well, I I look at tools and I check the specifications of tools. Well, that's not the only kind of career you could look at after the military. You could do safety, you could do inventory. I mean, there's tons of positions that you can do. And then on the veteran spouse dependent side, we kind of open up then, and like I said, it's not a hard industry to learn. You just kind of have to be willing. We're not looking for people with tons of degrees or anything like that or certifications. We're just looking for people that are willing to step into roles and kind of start being trained, start learning, and then take the reins from there and take the growth. That's kind of been my pathway. That's kind of the pathway of the military, if you think about it as well. You go into the military as a E1 and O1, and then you zig and zag and you create the career that matters to you. If a lot of us that are on the call that are kind of listening in kind of know what the military pathway is about, it's just about that right there. You zig and zag and you create the career that matters to you. And so that's what's kind of important for us as well.
Absolutely. I imagine that this is, I mean, as you mentioned, it's also very project led sort of mindset. So you always have a beginning and an end and a great opportunity for you to be creative as well. So, but it just kind of made me wonder, in this industry, how is this different directly from working straight into construction? What does Builders First does that is different than going straight into construction?
So we don't necessarily build like the structures. We don't necessarily go on to the job site, and we're not exactly framing or anything like that. A lot of times we're providing the building materials that
Okay.
the major home builders across the country. We have partnerships with a lot of the home builders across the country. And depending on the region, there could be different home builders. That's our customers. And then we're open to the general public as well across the country. Some of our lines of business would be like truss manufacturing, wooden floor truss. We have ready frame, millwork, doors, windows, roofing. On the West Coast, we have home centers, kind of in Southern California, Alaska. On the East Coast, same thing. So we provide those building materials. We're not necessarily going out. We do have some installation teams that do help customers with some of like the door and window type things, but we're partnering with like the bigger kind of custom home builders and the bigger home builders across the country, I guess you'd say.
Oh, wonderful. That's good that you clarify that because just to make sure that, so there's a lot of great opportunities right there to really own relationships and to own, expanding and directly conversing with a lot of great local community members, but also potential customers, obviously. So I think this is a very people centric role that the company that you guys would provide. So I love that. This is really cool. Now you do have a very strong skill bridge program, which you yourself lead. Tell us a little bit more about this training and what does it look like for Builders FirstSource.
So we try to get, we accept SkillBridge candidates from anywhere across the country in any of our locations. We try to do a program that kind of aligns with the SkillBridge service members timeline, just because a lot of times there's variance. We do have a caveat that we like to start on a Monday and we like to end on a Friday, just because we like to make sure that the service member can roll into full-time then come Monday. With some of the DOD's changes, or the DOW, however you look at it, with some of the changes here recently, I think that kind of helps the service member with kind of being flexible, that we can kind of work with their timelines. But anything from entry-level labor, drivers, dispatch, project management has been a big one, operations management, corporate roles. Some of our corporate positions tend to be kind of near Dallas, Denver, and Raleigh, but we do have some remote roles. And then something else that we've kind of introduced too is I don't know if I'm laying a claim on anything here or anything like that, but what I like to do too is I call it a military introduction. And so, like, if you're part of the military community and you reach out to us, what I'll do is, let's say we have a posting for, I don't know, let's say an operations manager in, let's say Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll just pick center of the United States, and you're a military affiliate candidate. If you reach out to me and say, hey, Rodney, I've reached out to this. I'm a spouse dependent. I'm a veteran. I'm just a military affiliate candidate. What I do is I'll pull your name out of the candidates. Let's say there's 150 candidates for that position. And then I'll reach out to the hiring manager of that team, and I'll make sure that you get 100% exposure to that hiring team in that market, just to try to give the military family a little bit more of a push. Doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to get a position, but what it does, it guarantees that your resume, your information is going to get exposure. So that way you're kind of getting a little more visibility than the other candidates maybe.
I love it. You're sort of like the version of me through Blue Star Careers, but you do it on your Builders FirstSource. So I love it, because that is really in today's competitive market. I think I've noticed, and you probably would agree, that is just so could be incredibly defeating sometimes when you're applying and then you don't get the results that you need. But having a great ally like you, like our program, and then being able to amplify the visibility of your application when candidates or potential members follow those instructions to get through that bridge, I think that would really downsize a little bit of the heartache of not feeling like no one is responding to you. So that's amazing. Do you have any recent success stories of somebody that you connected? How did that felt for you? I'm excited to hear about it, because we do these all the time.
One of my recent military spouse hires was, I'm not sure if she came through the MSEP program, but Central Texas, she's a human resource. I believe she's a human resource manager for us. Her husband's currently serving at Fort Hood. I won't say her name, but she's down there, and she just got a position with us. And we stay in contact. But she's working down in that area. But something I love is that I just had another military spouse reach out to me from kind of like the Panama City, Pensacola area, and she was looking for something remote, and I didn't really have anything in that area. Something that I love doing, that I think my pathway has been humbling for myself. And so something that I love doing is that just creating from like my travels of being at Camp Lejeune last month. I was at Stone Bay, Camp Lejeune, Cherry Point. What I like to do is I like to go around the room near the end of the event and just look for resources and meet other people from companies. So, just sharing other companies' information. So if I don't have something in that area, hey, have you talked to this company? Do you know this person? And I could list 3 or 4 different companies right now of different areas that I could pretty much trust, or LinkedIn resources that I could share with people. Oh, you're looking for IT? Have you talked to this person? I just did that for a SkillBridge candidate I talked to the other day, and I went to text him. I actually had him a interview lined up, and he said, "Rodney, I accepted a SkillBridge with this company." I really feel that SkillBridge for us, or SkillBridge in my eyes, isn't for Builders FirstSource to pigeonhole you into just Builders FirstSource. It's about companies making sure that you have opportunities to talk to companies. It's not about us holding you hostage just to talk to us. If you have more opportunities to speak to 4 or 5 different great companies, then at the end of your search, that service member, how great is that you can kind of look through and see what's best for you and your family. So I think it's, you only get one transition. So I think it's just about being transparent with the service member. And I think that, by being upfront, honest, transparent, I think that's what's going to be the best for the service member and for how you treat people.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for doing all that great extra leg, to transition and to support additional resources. And that's really speaks highly a lot about your great character. So thank you so much. Now, regarding spouses, because you mentioned a couple of samples in success stories of military spouses, but in your experience, what kind of great roles within FirstSource are a good fit for military spouses who are seeking a stable, maybe a little more flexibility career pathway? What would you suggest that we should look for?
I would say, anything really. The name behind the company. If you're looking for flexibility, obviously something remote. If you're looking for flexibility, we do have remote opportunities that pop up. So they're going to be on the career site. If you do see something, feel free. I think if my information doesn't come up at the end, it'll be up there somewhere, or I'm on LinkedIn as well. You can find me on LinkedIn, but you can apply and then reach out and we'll do just what I said, the military introduction. I'll be more than happy to share information, but human resources, we have corporate roles, legal, finance, anything like that. Or if there's market-based roles, like in let's say the Central Texas region, or let's say like Southern California or something like that, wherever it might be, if it's a remote role, or if entry-level labor, if you're looking into truck driving, or if you're looking into operations management, project management, whatever the case may be, the sky's the limit. That's what I love, is that you never know what you don't know. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I tell every person that I come in contact with, shoot for the stars. The worst they can say is no. But then you kind of know that, okay, well, I need to do this and I need to keep trying. So whatever it is you want to try it and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good, we just have to keep trying. And the most important thing is for any of us who's watching this and will maybe watch the replay as well, is just know that you have two really great allies here who are here to support you. And then if, a Builders FirstSource role comes through, just having that connection early on will make a difference, right, Rodney? Will make a big difference, and to be able to advocate with that, additional source or layer that the process might be with that partner that you guys have, in order for us to be able to advance that incredible opportunity. So that's really good. Now, talk to us a little bit more about, if you want to, a little bit more about the SkillBridge process. And so how does that work? So I'm looking to apply, or I'm a spouse and I want my spouse to take advantage of that. I know that there's also a lot of anxiety that goes through with spouses who are looking to support with the transition as well. So I go to your site, I applied, and then what do I expect? What does the process look like?
So they can apply. Those come directly to me. I review them within 24, 48 hours. I'll send a SkillBridge intake form. And then typically how I've been doing it is, if they're within a service member's within 90 to 120 days, I'll reach back out. We'll set up a call, very informal phone call. I kind of go through information, timeline, education, background from the service member. Before I go any further, I will kind of give you the caveat that the reason for the 90 to 120 day timeline of them starting SkillBridge would be if a service member is looking to start a SkillBridge in December, let's say of 2026, it's very hard for our company, and I can only speak to Builders FirstSource. I can't speak to any other company, but I want to make sure that we're able to, so if a service member's, we're getting ready to start in May. So anybody that's looking to start in August or beyond to the end of 2026, I wouldn't be speaking to just yet. It's kind of as the months get, as we go to May, June, July, I'll start reaching out. But anything from like, if you're starting in September, October, November, probably wouldn't be reaching out just yet. And that's because we can't really forecast headcounts. We're not in the business of just bringing on people for SkillBridge just for free labor. We want to ensure that that if we bring on a SkillBridge candidate, that there's going to be a full-time potential role at the end. So we want to ensure that if we send out an offer letter to a candidate, that there's going to be a potential full-time role at the end. So that's where the 90 to 120 day window come in. That's where I reach out and I'll set up the phone call to kind of start gathering information. If I reach out and somebody's looking at, hey, my timeline is October through March, there's no way that we're going to be able, that we can even begin to think what March of 2027 is going to look like. So we couldn't possibly send out an offer letter and say, yeah, we're going to sign you up for a SkillBridge. There's no possible way we could do that.
Right.
Other industries might be able to, but I know for a fact that we can't. So that's kind of why we do the 90 to 120 day window. I have a tracker that's got people filled up to the end of 2026. But I reach out during that phone call. It's very informal. We kind of just talk about education, certifications, background, location, try to pinpoint the area. Sometimes people don't, start thinking about if you are going to transition. If you're based at Fort Drum and you're looking to do a SkillBridge in San Antonio or Phoenix, have you thought about, well, I'm leaving on the 5th and I'm going to do a SkillBridge that starts on the 7th. Have you thought about the logistics of getting from Fort Drum to Phoenix in 2 days? Is that going to be possible? Have you thought about moving your family? Have you thought about moving your family and the cost of living? And what if you don't like that job? Think about these things and logistics of that stuff. There's a lot to go into that stuff. So just think about that stuff. Once again, I'm more than happy to answer questions. I'm not trying to make you come to Builders FirstSource. I've spoken to numerous people from numerous companies. I'd be more than happy to share those resources with everybody or with anyone, just because I really feel that there's a lot of great companies out there. There's a lot of good organizations, I believe, on LinkedIn that are good. And it's all about making sure that service members, spouses, that we share this information with each other, so that way we can help people behind us.
Absolutely. And I'm going to go to the website so I can show everyone where to find and locate actually the right information to submit for the SkillBridge. But one quick question for you, what do you credit the success in today's competitive market that someone landing SkillBridge, a job, military spouses, getting, what will be the top, I guess you can say, execution or step that those who are being successful in a timely manner getting a job are actually doing in your point of view?
I would say having realistic expectations. I think sometimes it's hard for the service members. I can't speak. Sorry about that. For the service member side, I think it's a little bit tough to leave the military. And let's say you've been leading troops, you've been leading Marines, sailors, whatever the case may be. I think it's tough to leave the military and then to come into the civilian side, and I might need to take a step or two down to start learning an industry. But for the candidates and the service members that I've seen do that, they're creating a runway for themselves. And there is some industries, and I'm sure they're out there, that you can leave from the military with 20 years of service or something like that and go directly into leading something. But if you can be willing to take maybe a step or two down and take an operations position or maybe an entry-level management position, a project management position, you're creating a runway for yourself into an industry that is just wide open. And the same with the dependent spouse, that side. If you're willing to jump into an industry that's growing, the technology side, Builders FirstSource is putting a lot of money into technology to make Builders FirstSource kind of a one-stop shop for customers. In the old days, it used to be that, if you wanted to build a house, you would just go to, you show up to a model house in a neighborhood, and you would look at the model and be like, I don't really like that. I wonder what it would look like with this. Well, now you can just show up to, a location and look on a computer, and somebody can kind of do that. Well, that's what Builders FirstSource is making that to where you can make all that stuff, on technology. So I think just wanting to be a part of an organization that's kind of trying to become that one-stop shop for all of that. I think, not being scared to jump in feet first and just grabbing that opportunity and running with it. Like I said, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Wonderful. This is great advice. Thank you so much. And then those of you who are watching, and we're going to go in a little bit and do shout outs. But first, I want to make sure that you know exactly what Builders FirstSource website kind of looks like, so that when you are out there Googling it or you're typing, you know exactly where to go. Right here is the tab where you can do search careers. And so you can explore the various multiple opportunities. Like Rodney said, there are 43 different states listed in here, and obviously they come and go. So don't wait until the job that you love or that you potentially will fall in love with, it's coming and going. So stay connected. And look, there's some great veteran first team here. Oh, look, we know this guy. He's right here today. So stay connected, build a community, build those connections, start those conversations, and then submit your opportunity. Look right here, contact them if you have any questions. Or if you have questions and when you are thinking about us, or you're like, well, I'm not sure how to approach it, or you don't want to put a comment right now. I understand you're maybe a little bit shy. That's okay. Meet us in the neighborhood. See, look, I'm sharing my page in the neighborhood. This is our careers group. You can log in, create an account, or if you're already a member, come back. Right here is the webinar. We are streaming it live right now, as well as we have created also a Builders First Spotlight, and they are listed in our resource folder, so that you can right here, you don't have to write down anything right now or remember, or if you can scroll down later on and you're like, oh my God, the video is gone, no worries. Builders FirstSource is going to be right here. I have created a folder for them, for Rodney, so that we can always send traffic for you to connect with them, get to know them more, go to the portal and start exploring the opportunities that are available. And then if you need us to get a hold of Rodney, because he's going to be so busy contacting and connecting directly with so many great service members who are going to take advantage of their SkillBridge opportunity. But not only that, the relationships, because that's really what you get with great people like ours when we are here, is we can potentially advance, your more awareness of additional resources, additional point of contacts. We unfortunately don't have a magic wand, unless, Ronnie, do you have a magic wand? Maybe Builders FirstSource has done that we can make a job appear and happen to you, but we can certainly help you with the best of our good intentions to help you and support you, so that you can land and get essentially a great opportunity and be able to really understand how the process works, because every company, every industry is a little bit different, and we just want to make sure that you are well set up for success. And so make sure that you reach out to us. And then Ronnie, I'm going to take some time right now to go through our social network, so we can go on Facebook, and then our Spouse First community, as well as our LinkedIn, and then send some shout out. So I want to say thank you, Chris, for supporting. Thank you, Chris. He's on LinkedIn supporting. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Rosie. We're going to send a shout out to Christina, to Kayla, to Silvana. Thank you, Simone. And thank you, Sandy and Joanna, for tuning in the neighborhood. And then let's go out here to our Spouse First community. So our Spouse First is our private Facebook group we have have for our military spouse community. And we always have great members out there tune in as well. And so if you have questions, or if you right now are being shy and don't want to put any questions, it's okay. You can post. Like I said, meet us in the neighborhood, and we'll make sure that Rodney is fully aware of what you have going on and how we can best support you. So continue to forward those questions. So thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Nisa, for tuning in and supporting this webinar. Again, don't keep it to yourself, pay it forward, and make sure that you connect with Builders FirstSource. Right here is the link to their portal. I also share it in the comments. And then Rodney is on LinkedIn, and he responded to my connect to request. So he's connected now in our network. So yeah, make sure that you take advantage of great allies that are willing to go the extra mile to support you. So, Renee, now that we are getting almost close to the end, I do have a question here that I wanted to ask you that popped into our sponsors community. And I think you might have already answered it, but I have here a military spouse, Jenny, asking, she's getting ready to PCS. If she starts applying now for roles, will she be able to locate something in the near location, or be able to work with that? So I guess it depends on what role she's applying, right? So, but that's what she says. She says she's PCSing in the near future. Can I apply for jobs within my community?
Yeah,
So what will be your feedback for someone who is PCSing? How do you manage that? Yeah.
Well, if they are PCSing to, like, let's say from Fort Drum to like the Phoenix area or something like that, you probably wouldn't be that lucky to go from Fort Drum to Phoenix. But if you are going from one area to another, and we have locations in that area, I'd be happy to kind of just take your information and say, hey, this person is heading in that direction, and we can kind of give them a timeline, just kind of like an early invitation, kind of do that military introduction and just say, hey, this is what they're doing. And I have like a little template I use, and I kind of highlight you in the timeline. And so that just kind of gives them an early advance notice. So maybe even if there wasn't anything now, that kind of lets them start thinking ahead of, well, we might have a team member that's retiring, or we might have, who knows, we have a project that's upcoming. So, I think that's kind of a good thing. If you already know, the orders are coming or incoming, something like that. It's always good to think ahead like that.
Absolutely. And then I love this question also because actually, Sandy, thank you so much for asking this question. I haven't worked in over 10 years. I'm a military spouse. So what should I list on my resume? I have a lot of volunteer experience, military connected volunteer, but also leadership based volunteer experience.
I would list that. And then we would frame it as that. I don't think that would be anything that we would want to shy away from. I mean, I think that we would want to highlight that this is my volunteer kind of management experience, this is my volunteer experience. And then same thing, we'd frame it just as anything other.
Okay. And then here's another also, thank you so much for this clear question. I mean, I love it because this helps navigate the job portals, and especially when you're new to industry. So here, Claire asked me, what entry-level roles should I look for when I'm looking for a new opportunity? I'm not familiar with this industry. What would you suggest for a spouse that is looking for just a very entry-level role that is out there in your industry?
Well, I mean, like entry level, don't just look for entry level, but entry level for us would be like truss assembler, material handler, forklift driver. That's kind of like where I started. But that doesn't mean that just because you don't have experience, that doesn't mean that's where you need to start. So don't limit yourself. Inventory control, dispatcher, non-CDL driver. I mean, the sky's the limit. Don't anything entry level, any of those positions would be good, but send me an email in the location, and we can kind of look through. But don't think, because you don't need tons of education, tons of degrees or anything, certifications to work here. We just need people that are willing to learn. Your attitude says a lot about the way you are, the way you carry yourself. If you're willing to learn and listen, I think that says a lot about a person. So just you right there, the way that you're willing to take it, that's how I was. I was willing to. I built trusses for the first 6 months. It's not a glorious job, but I was willing to do that. The Marine Corps taught us to lead from the front, taught me to put my work behind me. We didn't. Was taught you don't go in there and just put your hands out and ask for stuff. You put your work behind you, and then I started kind of working through the zigging zagging of like I talked about earlier. So just because we have entry level positions doesn't mean that that's where you need to start though.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you are willing to go beyond to have that conversation, because I think that makes a difference sometimes with us or some military spouses or individuals who are returning to the workplace after a gap, to feel that you can fully qualify, especially when some industries are super competitive and there's a little bit more than more candidate. It just is intimidating. I think that's probably where that question is coming from, because it's intimidating, and sometimes you're like, let me just get my foot in the door, get an entry level role, even though I have a lot of leadership that I can definitely maybe secure that job faster, right? So it could be potentially that.
I'm not sure who said this, but
This is clear.
If not me, then who?
Okay.
Yes. That's a saying.
Yep.
If not me, then who? So turn that around to you. Like, if I don't take this, then who? So put yourself out there. The worst they can say is no, and then you go in and prove yourself, and that's the greatest part about it. So.
Absolutely. Perfect. So, Rodney, we're all just want to make sure we are mindful of your time as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. What would be one practical step, call to action after today that you would share with some of the members who are watching our audience? We have it on LinkedIn, we have it you on Facebook, and then of course, obviously, this is going to stay forever in our digital platform. What will be one practical step that you will share with someone that should execute today after we're done with this webinar?
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Reach out and do something. Stay humble and be kind to each other, and just do it. I'll reach out. I'd love to share information if I can. If even not for Builders FirstSource, I'd love to share. If you're in an area that we don't have, I know of some other companies that I'd love to share that I feel like they're good companies, but I'll be more than happy to share any information I can, and do it. Why not? Why wait till tomorrow? Do it today.
Awesome. Thank you. And what is the best way to connect with you, contact you? Are you active on your LinkedIn? I know you travel a lot, but is it LinkedIn, or can we also share your email directly when individuals reach out to us?
LinkedIn, I'm always on there, or
Okay.
Rodney.bldr.com.
Perfect. And I will be sure that when we're done here, and of course, I suggest so that you all know we're live, I will copy and paste his email into the comments. But LinkedIn, of course, works really well. And then when in doubt, just make sure that you meet us in the neighborhood. Reach out if you have any additional questions. If you just feel a little intimidated, maybe taking up that discussion directly with Rodney, just reach out and then come to a member Q&A, and we'll be glad to connect you as well and remind you the best way to connect with him. So thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day, or your Wednesday. Thank you very much, Rodney, for being with us today.
It's at BLDR.com. Thank you all for joining. Thank you very much, Laura, for having me. I appreciate Blue Star Families. I appreciate your network and everybody. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. And again, just don't keep it to yourself, pay it forward. And if you have a service member or you know of someone who's going to be transitioning and could benefit from SkillBridge, let them know. And if you have a spouse who's looking for an amazing, stable career in 43 different states, then definitely this could be the opportunity, a new industry that is always so stable, because we're always growing, we're always building, we're always expanding. So this is a really great opportunity for you to get your happily ever after career. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see